In the last episode of predicting the future of UK theme parks before we move on to Europe, I'll be talking all about the future of Southport Pleasureland, including their exciting Thunderbolt roller coaster that they've just applied for planning permission. A quick shout out and massive thank you to the 400 people who've now subscribed. If you'd like to see more theme park prediction videos, short and to the point news videos that just make everything going on in the world of theme parks easier to understand, and vlogs and reviews as well, then please consider subscribing today. Let's just get straight into the video. In 2006, the Thompsons abruptly closed the Pleasureland without prior notice, and Norman Wallace took over the amusement park soon thereafter, and for many years ran the theme park mainly with temporary rides. That trend seems to be getting phased out though now, with more permanent rides like the looping roller coaster and a self-built funhouse appearing more recently, and now plans are emerging of a Zamperla Thunderbolt roller coaster to run parallel to the seafront with a vertical lift hill and drop, 4 inversions and powerful ejector airtime. If the ride does end up being built, it will be a giant success for the park and will put them back on the map again and attract lots of people to the park who maybe have never visited the park before or haven't done for a long time since the old days of the park when the Cyclone and the Traumatizer were still there. The new roller coaster will definitely pay for itself in my opinion, but it is going to take a few years for the park's bank balance to recover, so I wouldn't expect much besides a few travelling rides to keep things fresh in the first few years after the Thunderbolt opens, whether that's next year or more likely in 2023. Fast forward a few years then and I could see them going back to Zamperla for a few more flat rides to replace some travelling rides and filling some gaps around the park. An air race, new pirate ship, Starflyer, rocking tug and disco coaster would all be great fits, and with picking a good colour scheme and design from the ride manufacturer, a bit of planting and a nice entrance sign, and it would look great and make the park a much more appealing place to enjoy and spend more time in. I do genuinely believe that the better an amusement park looks and is presented, the more time and ultimately money people will spend there. I'd also make sure that all of the rides fit in with the seaside feel of the Pleasureland, as opposed to a random mishmash of themes that just end up looking a bit tacky. It's an amusement park at the end of the day, so rides don't need theming, they just need to fit the feel of the place and look good. I'd also add at least 2 new rides in one particular year, as people aren't going to specially travel out of the way to visit an amusement park for just one new flat ride generally. Moving on towards the later 2020s by now, and I think it's time for another new roller coaster. There are a few good options that could work here, like a free spin, RMC Raptor or Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster, but by far the best option in my view would be to put in a smaller scale Gravity Group wooden roller coaster, probably a hybrid with steel supports painted white, and just a track wooden, as that will make it look far nicer and in the long run a lot cheaper through saving loads on the maintenance that will be needed for all the wood, especially when it's by the seaside. Anywhere from the Kentucky Flyer kind of size up to something more like the Switchback Shuttle wooden coaster would fit the bill perfectly and could feature lots of airtime and highly banked turns, but nothing too extreme that stops it from being a roller coaster that everyone can enjoy. I'd probably go for something that's about 70 feet tall and would name it either the new Cyclone or Cyclone 2, with a big vintage looking station and plenty of pictures and posters showing what the old Cyclone was like, and explaining how this is a modern take on the ride with new features that the ride wouldn't have been possible to have when the first one was built back 90 years ago in 1937. The area in the back of the park should be refurbished into an area for regular shows and events, with some showing in the evenings after the park closes and others open for free to the public during the day, and when the park is open in the evening, attracting people into the park and then kitting the whole area out around it with bars and restaurants and obviously a few more rides as well. If an SBF Visa drop tower could somehow be incorporated into it all, like with Dreamland Margate, then that would be great, and there will be some more room remaining as well, off to the sides and behind the seating area for some other additions. Something like a spinning or mid-sized roller coaster would be a great fit, and to be honest, they could probably just buy a second-hand one and paint it up a bit to fit in with the park. I know that the cost of them is very high to buy new, so if they can find a used Marathon spinning coaster, then that in my mind would be ideal, and it would be very easy to give the seaside or vintage style to it. The final part of Southport Pleasureland to do something more with is where the go-kart track used to be, down along the seafront. I do think that go-karts work really well in an amusement park setting, and they can add them as part of an all-in-one wristband offering, rather than doing what some theme parks seem to and putting prices on them that just no one's going to pay, and even those that would do don't want to go on anyway because there's no one there to race with. I'd make this new go-kart track a big one with slopes and turns that makes it look really good to people passing by on the promenade. If not go-karts, they could look at putting a high ropes course in, like the one that Drayton Manor are trying to sell right now, that's also at the new Bear Grylls Adventure Park at the NEC in Birmingham. Thank you very much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos that are similar to this, along with vlogs, reviews and theme park news short videos. Thank you very much again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video coming very soon. Bye now.